the chips on one. What are the catalysts that you're looking for?
Let me just kind of give you 4 quick ones. Number one, we know that as the Chinese system is facing greater financial and economic problems, one child means that consumption-led growth, is, for example, is impossible. They're going to become more bellicose in an attempt to rewrite the region.
Yeah.
If the Americans aren't involved, that means the Japanese have to do something. And if there's one country that we know in world history knows how to fight a naval war, it's Japan.
Yeah.
Number two, the Russians are dying out as a people. They're going to be moving west. Ukraine is just step one, and Europe is not ready. But when Europe starts to get ready, the country that matters is Germany. So we're looking forward to the rearming of the German system. That should make us all a little nervous. Number three, without the Americans in the Persian Gulf, the Saudis are taking matters into their own hands. Syria is an example of what that looks like. So we can look at a broad Middle Eastern battle royal. But perhaps the most problematic is the United States.
Sure.
Because here's the country that is guaranteed everything. Here's the country that has a navy more powerful than everyone else is put together by a factor of 10. And all of a sudden it has no stake in the system. So its military is now withdrawn. The U.S. is at its lowest deployment level since the 20s. And it's already had 3 years to rest, recoup, rearm. And any country that is dumb enough to poke the United States right now kind of deserves what they're getting.
Yeah.
But the U.S. is now entering a system where it sees disruption as better for its interests than order. And we're just not ready to process that.
So let's take half a step back, right? So that's a political, military sort of a story. At the economic level, is it your belief that at the economic level, part of the geopolitical rumblings, the bellicose Chinese, the westward-reaching Russians, are they scheming and plotting to get rid of the petrodollar? I mean, I see rumblings of that, and it looks like there's some machinations to remove that. And if so, what's that world look like?
There's lots of countries that, for whatever reason, are disappointed or dismayed with the role that the U.S. dollar has in the global system. But until there is a competitor to that,
sure,
it's really not going to go anywhere. So in the case of the Russians, everybody in Russia assumes that it's just going to be the ruble, which of course no one wants. The Chinese threw out the idea of it being the yuan for a while, and when they started to loosen their capital controls, $1 trillion fled in less than a year.
Right.
And they slammed those right back on, so they know it's not them.
Right, sure.
The European Union, the euro, that was a possibility until they started confiscating insured bank deposits.
Right.
And so everyone who could move their monies out of euro did. The next country down is Britain.
Yeah.
And no offense against the Brits, but if there's one thing that the rest of the planet agrees on, it's that the pound should never be in charge of anything again.
So the Brexit, or not the Brexit, but the petrodollar is here to stay, is what you're saying.
Yes, for the foreseeable future.
All right, so let's transition. One of the things that I find